Coming up.
But I remember the first day driving in, and I was in my car, and I looked back, and I was like, fuck, this is really scary. I don't know why I did that. I think because I remember the walk down, too. I was like, do I kiss them on the cheek? Do I hug them? Do I shake their hands? Literally, it was like, oh, you're going to marry someone in 30 days. And I was like, okay, but what about a prenup?
Meet Harry Jowsey, reality TV heartthrob. He's been loved, ghosted, cancelled, and kissed. He spilled his guts.
I did what?
In a world of ghosting and dodging red flags, Harry's filling his boyfriend's toolbox one lesson at a time. It's Harry Jowsey, boyfriend material.
You guys, welcome back to Boyfriend Material, or should I say Husband Material, because we are doing another Let's Marry Harry special. If you don't know yet, Let's Marry Harry is now streaming on Netflix, so please go check it out. We're going to have bonus episodes on Boyfriend Material, talking all things marriage, spilling tea, and even I'll have some special guests from Let's Marry Harry popping in.
It's kind of been a while since we did a solo episode. What's new in your life? You got engaged to 20 women.
Yeah, what's going on with that? That's really stressful. Like, I actually think the first day, I remember when I was driving in, I think I blacked out because it was the scariest thing ever. I also didn't know that they were all going to have engagement rings.
Wait, what? They didn't tell you?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know the premise of it. I knew at the end I had to get married. But I remember the first day driving in, and I was in my car, and I looked back, and I was like, fuck, this is really scary. And then I remember like seeing all the girls with rings on. I'm like, what does this mean? Anyway.
So you went in, you feel like you blacked out when you arrived, but hopefully you didn't black out the entire experience. So is there anything you're nervous about people seeing?
Yeah, I think there's a moment where I lie, which I'm really worried about that because it is a bit of an interesting conundrum to kind of navigate. I think I'm more so just nervous that like, this is the first time of being super vulnerable and like not kind of playing a character. I'm just being myself and having my family involved. I think I'm really like, I've been losing a lot of sleep about that, just being scared and worried about, you know, how they'll handle it or if people will say nice things to them. That's what kind of my goal is because, you know, I don't want my beautiful sisters to have to deal with anything but love and happiness. So I've been really worried about that, to be honest.
Is there anything, aside from you being the true frontman here, what felt different about filming this show compared to your last reality TV shows?
This one was just way more serious, like way more serious tone and like the kind of the groundwork that we're doing before it. Like I was reading a lot of self-help books. I was really worried about wasting anyone's time. I was really worried about wasting Netflix's time, and then also like bringing my friends involved. Like there was so many people that I have a really, really close relationship with, like at Netflix and even at Unwell that was producing it, that I was worried about like just wasting people's time and everyone going like, this is just Harry being an idiot again. So I think I was scared about that. That was the biggest thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Also, this shirt is like sideways. I didn't realize.
Oh, a little asymmetrical?
Yeah, I've never done that.
Is that intentional?
Yeah, I guess. I was like, why is my nipple coming out? It feels so slutty. Trying to be a husband.
No, you're a husband now.
Yeah.
Can you rank all of your shows from most nervous you were for them to come out to least?
I think Perfect Match was the most nervous. Or maybe this one. This one, I legitimately have never felt like I've had a rock in my throat. Like the press days, like I've never had clammy hands. I've always been like, oh yeah, this will be funny. Like I'll be able to play it off. But like this is because it means a lot to me. And it was like such a really beautiful experience. I think like, yeah, actually this has been the most like nervous because again, being the only guy on the show, like all the pressure's on me, which is fine, which is great. But yeah, I think this one. But Perfect Match, I was more disappointed in myself.
It makes sense that this one is the most nerve-wracking it's been for you. And I think all of us here at Unwell can tell how seriously you've taken it and like how passionate you are about it, which is great because
Yeah, so passionate.
It's your wife.
Yeah.
Like this is your life.
Yeah.
I know you talked about like being nervous about people, you know, your sisters and their experience. Do you think anyone's going to be mad at you?
Yeah, I think people always be mad at me, you know, like, but because I think it's quite obvious in the show, like the push and pull of like trying to be too silly and like playful or kind of taking it serious in a sense. So I think people will always find something to be upset about. But as long as the girls are okay with everything and they had a good time and that's all that matters and they get whatever they need out of it, then that's kind of the goal.
What was the last wedding you've been to? Was it your own?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think or maybe my sister's Sarah. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's just been my own. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's crazy.
Let's Marry Harry is live on Netflix now. We need to know, are you ready to become husband material?
I think that this was the kind of the scary thought behind the whole show is like, am I ready? Am I not? I think I am, I think like that's half of it is just knowing that you're ready or putting the thought behind it instead of just going, oh, I'll go with the flow. I feel like when I put my brain to something, I'm pretty adamant on it. So I believe I'm so ready. I'm beyond ready. And I hope that it's reflected on the show. I hope people can see that.
Okay, before we go and watch back the first episode, have you seen it before? Have you seen?
No, so I'm nervous. So I'm sweating. My top lip is sweating.
I was rewatching it last night. It's very fun.
Okay.
It's very lovely. Don't worry.
Okay.
But before we do that, how many times did you cry this season?
At least twice.
Okay.
Is there more?
I'm gonna start counting, but
Okay. It was a lot the first day.
Not a lot the first day, but there's a crying shot in the first episode.
I definitely cried on the first day because I remember the first. So when you do these shows, you have to do like your intros, and I remember the first moment. I got very lucky with my producer Parisa. Like we were glued to each other's hips the whole time. Like she couldn't get rid of me. Well, because it's also her job. But I remember the first moment we sit down to do like the hero interview shot, where she's like, asking if I'm ready and asking about my dad and all this stuff. And I remember it was one of the first questions about my dad, and immediately tears. Like I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And I couldn't stop crying. And I was like, fuck, no, not yet. I was meant to be funny. I don't know if that's going to be in the first thing, but because I know we changed outfits because they're like, oh, you need to be in the suit. If I'm in the blue outfit, I was definitely crying about my dad. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for everyone to get to see this side of you.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
It looks good on paper to have 20 fiancés and to be living with 20 girls.
Why do I keep kissing everyone?
But it is chaos, and there is going to be a lot of drama.
I'm looking for a connection.
Why am I crying so much?
Just like looked up.
No, this is so dramatic.
And I could imagine my life with both of them.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm feeling so lightheaded.
That was your first time seeing.
Yeah.
So you're feeling lightheaded. You look flushed.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm going to pass out. No, I think because like a lot of those crying scenes and like a lot of the dramatic moments, I was really battling with the grief of my dad, losing my dad. So like on the rock there, I know in like New Zealand, and I was really like struggling. I was having a really tough time. And then, yeah, it's the first time seeing like all the girls since the show too. So like they look great, which is awesome.
Have you reflected on your time in New Zealand that much since filming, or is it something you've kind of set aside?
I think I fully put it to the side. Like this whole experience, I think because it was so quick and there was so much happening every day that I fully just like kind of, put it to the side of my brain and like forgot about it. So now to have to relive this is wild.
Well, luckily we get to put it aside a little longer because that's not in the first episode.
Oh.
Like that is in the first episode.
Oh my God.
But we're not going to see any New Zealand footage from here on out. So we'll keep pushing that down the line.
Okay, cool. That was actually the last beach that I went with my dad. So I was really struggling. I remember I was sitting on that rock, and then I was just like, I was there for maybe an hour. Thought I was by myself. I forgot I was filming a reality show. And then I just hear someone behind me. I was like, oh, it's a fucking camera.
Wait, so you're saying you forgot you were being on a reality show in that moment. Did you find that you kept forgetting while you were filming? Are you so in it that you don't even realize there's cameras sometimes?
Yeah, I think like also because it just felt so natural and organic, and with the girls, like it felt like such a safe space that I was just like, oh, this is what we're meant to be doing. And you kind of forget that there's a whole camera recording everything. So like, these moments where I was kind of having a meltdown, I was just like, oh, this is just, me back in New Zealand seeing my family. And then I remember I just like hear people walking behind me and I'm like, fuck, there's a whole crew.
That's so pretty. Wow, this is like real now. I just want a husband and a family so badly, to be honest. Crazy.
You said at the top, you didn't know they were going to be wearing wedding rings.
Yeah.
So you didn't choose a ring for each wife.
No, I guess they had submitted their perfect engagement ring or like their ideal engagement ring.
Were you able to notice the difference between their rings, or do they all look the same to you?
No, they all had different rings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like some of them were, was it emerald cut and then like the rectangle one. And they're all real diamonds and stuff too.
What?
Yeah, it was all real.
Your 20 wives were really decked out.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I remember just being like, I'm pretty sure we blew the budget on this.
But they didn't keep their diamonds.
No, once they get eliminated, they hand them back.
Oh my
So that was also really traumatic because like everyone was getting attached to them, and all the girls they were like, so they'd always show them off. It was really nice. I was like, oh,
Wait,
damn.
who is gonna get like a Harry Jowsey ex-fiance ring? Like,
God, yeah, I don't know.
I want to marry Harry because I think he's handsome and I think he's super tall and cool, and he could definitely look really cute in a little prince outfit for Halloween.
That's the reason she wants to marry me. It's crazy.
not a horrible reason.
Yeah, not a horrible reason.
Would you rather like he's funny or
Yeah,
he's hot?
sure. Yeah, that's
I love. I get excited.
You look so cool in that car.
the coolest I've ever felt. Because they shut down the whole PCH ring too, the filming zero shot.
And you were actually driving.
Marriage
Yeah, it was really scary.
is a partnership, a lifelong bond with you and that person, full of trust and love and all the magical things that come in between it.
I've never put a ring on this finger before, and it feels so surreal. Like, holy guacamole, this could actually be a thing.
Oh, Charlie.
Do you know much about Harry? No. I mean, I knew him from Too Hot to Handle years ago. The only thing I looked up was his height and his sign. What do you think?
His sign.
A Gemini and 6'5". I'm a 5'8" Aquarius. That's giving soulmates.
Giving soulmates.
Wow.
No, ChatGPT said so.
So no one knows anything about me. No, that's good.
But you're a 6'5" Gemini.
That's all that matters, I guess.
The girls talk about not knowing too much about you.
Mm.
Did you know anything about them prior to filming? Like, were you given bios? Like, what?
Nothing. No, that was the craziest thing. I think that was the hardest moment, was trying to memorize everyone's names. And I guess that's been the biggest thing online, is people saying like, "Oh, Harry only casts like brunettes." I was like, I don't even cast anyone. I'm not in the casting room. Like, I don't know what was going on. I just showed up and I blacked out.
After the day one, did they give you like a face sheet with everyone's pictures?
No, they didn't give me any face sheet or anything. I was just like, there.
So like, if you're the third time you're talking to Sam and she's like, "I'm Sam."
Yeah, because there's like 3 Sams, or like Sammy, Samantha, Sam. Like, that was really confusing too. I'm like, guys, please make it easy on me because I'm stupid.
You're not stupid, Harry.
I got divorced 3 years ago. We were high school sweethearts. We got together really, really young. We tried, it just wasn't there.
And I know what I do deserve now, and I know that I'm not gonna settle again.
Juliana opens up about being divorced from her high school sweetheart.
Yep.
When you learned that, did you feel any sort of pressure or take a different approach getting to know her?
No, I think with a few of the girls that maybe a couple had already been previously married, I think it just showed that they were maybe taking it way more serious, because it was obviously they know kind of the heaviness of marriage and how serious it is. So I think like it made me appreciate the fact that they wanted to do it a little bit more, because I was like, oh wow, you know, they've been through it and they've seen the highs and lows of marriage, and they're ready to commit themselves again. Is wild, especially for me.
Are these women who have been divorced before, are they telling you in the first conversation? Is that something that was overwhelming to you when you were learning this?
Yeah, I think the first day, because no one knew who was getting eliminated, how it was working, what was going on. So I know the first day, everyone was kind of just putting all their cards on the table and like telling their life story, which was like really appreciated, but also it was really heavy, because I remember I was just feeling the pressure of like, oh my God, this is wild, incredible experience. And then trying to remember everyone's names, and then also trying to remember their very important stories and their life stories, because I didn't want to mess it up, and I didn't want to I remember I was being scared because I didn't want to get someone's story confused with someone else's and then put it on them. It was very scary. It was very stressful. Yeah, I don't recommend dating 20 people at once.
I need a guy to spice up my life. Someone that's gonna excite me. I feel like guys are so boring these days. Sorry.
Amber says guys are so boring these days. What did your dating history look like leading up to the filming of Let's Marry Harry?
What was I doing? I think I was pretty, because, you know, we knew for a while that like this was going to happen, because it just doesn't happen overnight. So I guess I remember I was really just trying to be within myself and be alone and understand myself better, because I was worried that I didn't want to start seeing someone and then feel kind of pulled away from them or take away from the experience of all these girls that were also getting ready to do the show. So I know leading up to it, I was very, very private and to myself.
There was a video that one of his friends told him that she was pregnant, and he started crying. It's really sweet.
It was on this
I want
podcast.
to have babies.
He's fuckboy turned to fiance, and I'm literally hoe turned to housewife as
Oh
well.
my God.
I've been around. I have had what I want to. I don't need to explore anymore.
What is making you sweat right now?
I just can't believe that this is happening. Like, wow. Like, I legitimately am sweating. Yeah, I think because, like, I didn't know, like, obviously, I only know what I saw when I was driving in. And, like, but I forget that they were all talking and like, became friends quite quickly. And that this was all a TV show as well. That's kind of wild.
Your confessionals, were those filmed in the house? Like, was that set up in the house?
Yeah, so they had the main house, and then there was, like, another warehouse that was a little bit over, and they fully, like, gutted the interior and built out this, like, beautiful set that so the confessionals were a little bit away from their house because there was only one of them, and it was hard with, I can imagine, with all the girls, so they'd have to schedule it kind of crazy. But yeah, and then I had a different, like, the nanny cam or whatever it was, where that was in the house. It was like all the girls were downstairs, and there was obviously the whole house was rigged up, but then it was my bedroom upstairs, and then the spare room over here where I would just walk in and just before I would go to bed, like, these are my thoughts. When I wake up, these are my thoughts. And it was a lot. It was pretty wild.
The girls, or your fiancés, had a wide variety of careers coming into the show. Was there any job or career that interested you the most?
Yeah, I think Ellie, I remember when we first went in, they were like, yeah, one of the ladies here is probably way richer than you. And I was like, what? No way, that's so exciting. And then I remember when I met her, I was like, oh, wow, this is really fascinating. Just like her life story and what she does is really cool. Then also, like, Amber's, like, being a travel photographer is really, really exciting and really intriguing too, because that's so fun. And then always looking for something beautiful and to take a photo of that.
I teach Pilates. I'm also a mommy. Yeah, he's the light of my life. We have fun, just the two of us, but I'm doing it for me and for him because obviously, like, if a healthy marriage comes out of this, then that would be super exciting for him to have that stability that we are lacking.
Sammy reveals she has a 7-year-old son during her confessional, but also to the other women in the house. We see her get emotional about missing him. Did you approach that relationship any differently knowing there was a child involved?
Yeah, I think with Sammy, I was pretty, like, open and honest that, like, hey, this, like, I'm not expecting you to be away from your son. Like, I know that's really difficult. And obviously it's another layer of how serious everyone was taking it. Like, for her to be away from her boy was a lot. But I remember I told her, I was like, hey, like, if at any point this gets too much or you miss him too much, like, don't worry about me. Like, it's all good. Like, I fully understand. Like, I'm not going to feel any type of way about that. And I know that's 100% your priority. So I remember those conversations were really difficult because I felt so conflicted. Because also, like, I couldn't promise her anything because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know the process. I didn't know who was getting eliminated or what was going on. So I couldn't be like, oh, stay a week or whatever, or stay a little bit longer. I couldn't really do any of that. And I was just like, I just want you to know that no matter what you feel, if you feel called to going back to your son, please do it. Don't worry about me. So it was difficult.
Your emotional maturity here is very husband material.
Is it good?
Yeah,
cool.
You're crushing. I think we touched on this a little bit already, but your wives all have such different backgrounds. During the casting process, were you able to give any non-negotiables or preferences to the casting directors, or they're like, we got this?
No, I literally was just like, whatever you guys feel is best. I don't want to think about it. I just want to show up and know that, like, your brains are probably way smarter than mine. Like,
you got to give yourself more credit, Harry.
Honestly, I was just like, and then I know Alex was like, kind of, she had the last looks, and I'm like, I would trust her. So
my dating history is terrible, so my friends are here to help.
Looking good.
Hi, guys. Amanda is my North Star in all of this. She's been there through all the tough times and the hard times with dealing with grief.
Love you.
I know no matter what, Amanda will have my back. Georgia is my ex-girlfriend, and she's here because all my other exes said no.
Which is not true.
No. Georgia and I have a really good relationship.
I remember actually first
Years
day we were
ago.
filming, there was an ex whose agent was hounding Netflix to get her on the show. I even had an ex's agent to come to a charity event that I was hosting to tell me to get Netflix to send the contract so she could be on the show. And I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, this is for Georgia.
So how did Georgia win out of all the exes? Obviously, competitive slot to fill.
Well, the thing is with Georgia is she's a good person.
Yeah.
And like she was coming, like it's a crazy thing to walk into. Like I couldn't imagine being an ex and walking into this environment and like having to do this for her. Like it's very daunting. Like it's quite intimidating. And I just guess because I told when they were doing like the casting for the show, I just said you can interview every single person in my life, whoever you feel is best for it. I don't want there to be any rules and regulations. I said any ex, whatever you need. But I think just because Georgia who had recently became really close again, and she was really there when after my dad had passed. So it was like hard to ignore that. It was hard to discount that. And I think the other exes that they had spoken to were just being really nasty and mean, and for some reason just wanted to do it for themselves instead of, hey, like let's come together and let's do something cool and try and change history. So wild.
What's one thing about Georgia that you admired that she brought to the show?
Georgia gave a more, I think for me personally, and not about the whole experience, but with me, I was like, I couldn't really like dance around anything because she'd seen like my highs, my lows. Like we had a very up and down relationship. So I kind of just had to be who I am and who I wanted to be. Like I couldn't, like she could see if I was being a little bit naughty or a younger version of myself was coming out, and she could clock those like characteristics. So I really appreciated that insight. Like that was really, really helpful. And she really like, I think with the girls too, it was nice for them to connect with her and talk with her throughout the whole process. She just gives such a light to everything.
In addition to Georgia, you also had Amanda, one of your very good friends, and then Sonny, who you call an honorary brother. How did you choose Amanda and Sonny to be two of the other mentors?
Amanda she took it the most serious. Like she was very formal with her approach, and she really didn't want me to waste anyone's time, but also my own. And she really cares. And Sonny just like doesn't trust any of my other friends. Like he was like, I feel like this is like he's a no bullshit friend. Like he doesn't care about TV, he doesn't care about fame or whatever else. He just cares about me, and also the godfather to his son. So he wanted to make sure that whoever I'm bringing back gets a thumbs up from him.
And do you feel like the trio, Georgia, Amanda, Sonny, like they worked well together throughout? I remember the first day there was a bit of friction. Like before this moment, before I walked out, there was a bit of friction. But then they all figured it out because I guess everyone had like high emotion like going into it because it's like kind of scary and like weird and no one knew what to expect. So I know everyone was kind of trying to figure out where everyone was landing. After the first day, it was pretty smooth sailing. Like they had a group chat where they were kind of kiki and catch up on everything. And yeah, they were watching the whole time, which was really wild. It makes sense that there was probably friction between them because all three of them were taking it so seriously. So the pressure of determining one of their good friends' future.
It's so wild. It's really weird. It's a weird idea.
I feel like you're so ready for this journey in your life. I know you want to be a husband. I know you want kids. I know you want a family. And like, I hope you find somebody that you just want to love and who will love you in return, because that's important too.
Yeah, I just obviously, you're the three.
I was about to cry.
That I have in my life.
Swear to God, I was choking up. Like, that's why I had to look down because I was gonna cry.
Wait, why? What about this? Seeing all three of them together made you want to cry?
I think because it was real now, and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go do it.
What is going on? Hi, you little treasures. Wow, thank you so much for waiting. Hello, how you doing?
I don't know why I shook her hand.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
So you were noticeably nervous, red and flustered during the first episode, and Sam calls you out on it later. What was it like walking into a garden of 20 beautiful women?
I think I'm sweating now thinking about it again. Like, it was so weird and surreal. Like, all these incredible ladies there wanting to meet me, potentially get married. Like, oh my God, I remember my brain was doing backflips trying to figure out like how to just be calm and like be normal and not freaked out. But I didn't want them to think I was weird too, because I was really scared about it.
Well, you were so nervous you shook one of their hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I think because I remember the walk down too. I was like, do I kiss them on the cheek? Do I hug them? Do I shake their hands? I don't want someone to think that like I'm being weird by only shaking someone's hand and then hugging someone else. So I think my brain was just like, I think in these moments you're overanalyzing everything and trying to make sure that you're doing the right thing and the right thing by the whole group instead of just one person. And that was also tough.
Right, you came out, you drove this sick car down the PCH. You come out in like this sharp, nice tan suit. What went into wardrobe? Were you like panicking? Was it like, what am I going to wear to meet these women?
Thank God we had the best stylist, Dina. So she like, I didn't have to think about anything. I just show up and she's like, this is what you're wearing. And that was the best feeling because like, I don't know what I was going to do. If it was left up to me, I probably would have just not shown up.
Hey, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
God, my bracelet.
Already.
No. Oh my God.
Already.
That's actually legit.
Is that real? Is that real?
Do you remember that moment of Shane getting stuck around you?
I blacked out. Literally blacked out. But I thought I was like, oh, this is a good bit. Like, but I don't know if that was, I still don't know if that's real.
You know, you're hearing some of the girls share their apprehension and nerves about your dating history. How does that feel watching it back?
You know, it's valid. Like, it's fair enough to feel some type of way, I guess. Also, like, having my whole dating life since I was, like, 19, 20, be on a show in some way, shape, or form. Like, imagine if everyone had their early 20s being filmed in their dating life, like I'm sure they wouldn't be perfect. So there's a lot of highs and lows. So I fully understand that they would be feeling some type of way about it. But I guess hopefully, you know, with this whole experience, they see the new version of me and like the growth.
Oh, look at that shower.
This is crazy.
Very sexy in here.
Whose idea was it to get in the shower?
I think I was just so nervous that I was like, everyone, like, let's try and get in the shower. Like, let's make it funny. I think that was when my brain was going, like, how can I make this like light and funny instead of really serious early on. Yeah.
You say the version of myself you see online is not a true reflection of who I am. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think when in the past, things that I've posted or things that I've said online has been either for a reaction or for some sort of engagement or whatever else. I think, I believe after I was on Tour to Handle, it was because it was such a hypersexualized show. I came off that like, oh, everyone just wants to see that. Like, people just want to see you being crazy or involved in drama or whatever else. So I think I just would play into that. And I guess the only version that people would see when they would look at me online would be that, like, playing into that drama instead of like the person that I was at home. So I think it like took me a little bit of time to realize that like that is not who I really want to be.
I think something that stands out and is different about this show versus other similar dating shows is you're actually living in the house with the woman. What was that like?
I think living in the house was difficult because when you come down to have breakfast in the morning or like get coffee, you got to like just hug and kiss everyone. Like, that was scary because I was like, yeah, saying good morning to everyone was a lot. No, it was nice. It was really nice to be in the house with everyone.
Were people like coming up to your room when you were taking downtime, or were they pretty respectful?
Yeah, there was never any downtime. And then as soon as like would be done for the day and I go to bed, like I would knock out. If someone came in, like I would be so exhausted that I would just be asleep.
You filmed the show almost a year ago. You've mentioned that you blacked out, but now that you're watching back, is there something from this first day of filming that is coming back to you that you don't think you'll ever forget, that you remember the most?
Oh, I think I just remember the only thing in my brain was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to waste anyone's time. And I remember just, yeah, honestly, I don't know. Like, just seeing this is kind of weird and wild.
Oh, wait. I think you have to put your
That's a move. What's that? There's nothing on my face.
No, there was. It was
Okay.
actually, I was thinking for the future it might have been my lipstick.
Oh. Wow.
I've kind of like been in front of the camera, but like also behind the scenes, like my whole life. So it's kind of been like a tease.
Yeah.
I feel like at like a young age, I've been like teased in front of the camera. It's been like supposed to happen, but not actually happening.
I remember that. Wow, I was there.
You said you could smell out that Maya A just wanted to be on TV, and it was the worst first impression. Since you've spent so much of your life in the spotlight and on camera, What was it about that experience, like your experience, that made you realize you don't want the same thing from a partner?
Yeah, I guess like if it was a show where it was like Too Hot to Handle or like Perfect Match or it's like a hookup show, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like that's fully fine to have that energy on that. But I think because I was taking it so serious that when she came in hot and heavy like that, I was a little bit like deflated. And I was like, just lie to me a little bit. Pretend that you like actually want to marry me. That will make me feel good. But yeah, I think we all saw it right away. I know like Georgia, Sonny, and Amanda were up in a room and they came down after and they're like, what was that? I'm like, I actually don't know. I was like, at least like lie to me. I remember just like tell me a little bit, just so like it's at least a bit convincing that you're here for the right reason. But it's, again, at the end of the day, like it's a TV show, so it's all good. I get people want to kind of figure out their careers and that's all good.
But hey, at least she didn't start your relationship off on a lie.
That's true. Yeah, at least she was honest from the jump, which is kind of cool.
At the end of this first night, Sonny, Amanda, and Georgia announced that there's going to be a group date. How did you get in the right mindset going in to prepare for that group date experience?
Honestly, by the end of the night, like I was so exhausted. And yeah, I was like, it'd be nice to have some alone time with the girls outside of the house so I can figure them out a little bit more. And obviously Sonny, Georgia, and Amanda were watching them, even interacting with each other. So my brain was like, it'd be good to learn more about these girls, especially the ones that they pick are like solid to get to know first off. But I know that after the first night, I was so ready for bed. I was so exhausted.
Sam got picked to go on that group date, even though y'all did not get to connect that first night. How many other girls did you also not get to connect with that first night?
A little bit more than half of them that we did. Because I remember a few girls were like really upset because we didn't get that first moment. And then I went on a group date and then I came back. And I know they were at their house kind of anxious, like wanting to meet. So I think there was like we met more than half the first night. And then I went away and then came back and was like, okay, I really need to speak to them. Your
first date on the boat looked pretty fun. You had the jet skis with Charlie. You got a rub down from Sam. What do you remember about that first date?
I remember just being like so excited to get to be on a boat with the girls and knowing that we're all doing like different fun date activities, because there was like no pressure. It's just like, oh, we're all getting to know each other. We're all on a yacht together on a group date. Like that was really exciting. But I remember in my head, I'm like, am I allowed to kiss people? And I was being worried.
Now that you've watched this episode for the first time, you've heard all of your wives' initial reactions to you, their feelings of excitement and apprehension that you maybe have never seen before. Is any of this altering your perspective of them or change how you're looking back on your time at the show?
Not really. I think like kind of it's been like nearly a year. So to look back at it, like I think I was just more nervous about how I was being, and I didn't want them to feel like I don't want to give anyone less. I wanted to make sure that everyone had equal and a good time. So I don't know, like I feel fine watching it back. Like it's really exciting, and like I just hope that they all get exactly what they need out of it, whether that's a new career, whether that's Instagram followers, whether that's more TV shows, like whatever it is, or their potential husbands are watching this and they're like, cool, I want to marry that girl, she's awesome. Like whatever they want out of this experience, I hope that it comes their way, because they're all incredible people and they all deserve good things.
Well, I'm so excited for everyone to get to continue watching Let's Marry Harry.
Same.
It's my favorite show.
There we go.
All right, we are done watching the first episode. There's going to be so much more of this. But before we wrap up today, just to test if you're actually ready to be a husband, we have a little marriage trivia.
Okay.
Let's see how much you know. Okay. Some of these are like pop culture-y,
okay,
so I think you might have them. The first question is, Kim Kardashian has been married 3 times.
Correct.
Name all... Correct. True. Name all 3 of her husbands in order.
It's Chris. There's a guy, and then there's Chris, and then there's Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damon Thomas.
I knew it was Damon.
Yeah.
No.
And that one was kind of secret. They don't talk about him that much.
Yeah.
Chris Humphries always gets credit as the first husband.
Yeah, who is he? Why is he famous?
Chris Humphries?
Yeah.
He's a basketball player.
Sick.
The start of the Kardashian curse.
Wow. Okay.
True or false? Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston's wedding cake had 7 tiers to it.
Yes, true. That is fact.
Yeah.
I was there.
It was a 7-tiered carrot cake, which is kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy for a wedding, a carrot cake.
I think that would be my wedding cake.
A 7-tiered carrot cake.
Maybe not 7 tiers.
Yeah, like that's a lot of carrot cake. They love it that much. It's crazy. Good for them.
Okay, next question. When you change your last name after marriage, name 3 places you have to legally update it, and what's the first thing you should update?
Your license, your bank records, and your phone records, and your address.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
But do you know what the first thing you have to change is?
Your birth certificate?
No, not your birth certificate. This might be, social security card here in the States.
I don't even have one of those. I don't know where mine is.
So your social security card has to be first.
Okay.
And then your driver's license, passport, bank accounts.
Wow.
Employer, utilities like your phone. So
Yeah.
you kind of got it.
Okay.
Half points. True or false? In most U.S. states, a prenuptial agreement can be written on a piece of paper the night before the wedding and still be legally valid.
No, because I remember we were doing this, and then like it has to be 30 days before the wedding, and everyone has to have their lawyers look over it. Is that true?
Wait, you're right. So it's false.
Okay, it's false.
Prenups need to be drafted in advance,
Yep.
signed by both parties,
Yep.
ideally with independent legal counsel.
Period.
Did you get a prenup?
No.
No.
We didn't have enough time. Literally, it was like, oh, you're going to marry someone in 30 days. And I was like, okay, but what about a prenup?
Which pop star got engaged to Pete Davidson, then called it off after 4 months?
Ariana Grande.
Boom. On the Bachelor franchise, what percentage of couples who get engaged on the show actually end up married? Is it closer to 10%, 25%, or 50%?
10%.
Wrong.
What is it?
Roughly 25%.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for them.
Only about a quarter of those engagements result in marriage.
Wow. 100% on ours, by the way.
What is the most Googled wedding question of all time?
Oh, I know this. What to wear at a wedding.
You aced it.
Yeah, I've done this before.
What is the average cost of a wedding in the United States?
$50,000?
No.
Oh. 100?
$35,000.
Oh, wow.
A
That's a
hundred's,
lot.
but 100's more.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Name the
Okay.
Ooh, I don't know if you have this one.
Okay.
Name the 5 traditional wedding anniversary gifts for years 1, 5, 10, 25, and 50.
What the fuck? Do you get people gifts?
Well,
Random people?
No, to your wife.
Oh, another wedding band?
So they're very traditional. There's a theme for all of these years. That I think
I don't know.
you don't know. Well, on your first wedding anniversary to your wife, the gift relates to paper.
So you buy her a book?
It could be a book.
Interesting.
The 5-year wedding anniversary is wood.
Wood?
Wood.
Buy her a house?
You could. That's a great one. She would love that. The 10-year anniversary is tin or aluminum.
What? Who is setting these traditions?
I don't know.
That's
but
a
I kind
lot.
of like them.
Yeah.
Actually, this comes too late. For 25 years, silver.
Okay.
That should have come sooner.
It should have been the year one.
Yeah. And then for 50 years, gold.
That should have been day one.
Exactly. Okay. Our last question. You're planning a honeymoon. Name the number 1 most popular honeymoon destination in the world right now.
Nashville. Is it?
Nashville? Honeymoon, not bachelor party.
Maldives? Is it?
That's one of them. And the
Okay.
other is the Amalfi Coast in Italy.
I knew it.
Where?
Amalfi.
No, but Maldives is right. They're
Okay.
tied. Where would you go?
I would go on an African safari.
That's sick.
Yeah, because I just feel like I'd just be so bored doing nothing. Like, okay, cool, it's romantic, but like, let's go look at elephants.
And you're like, I grew up on the beach. I don't need
Yeah,
this.
we're good. We it's ocean, it's water, we're good. That's it for today. Husband material, check. I think I passed. Maybe, maybe not. Tune in next Friday. Don't miss it. And please, please, please go watch Let's Marry Harry on Netflix right now. And we will see you next week, you naughty little chickens.